Well, good morning, YouTube channel. Hi. What you see before you is a Klom lockpick set. Now, about 3 years ago, a certain shill, Bosnian Bill, reviewed a very similar set with H and H attached to it. Pretty much the same case. The same logo saying the brand of high quality. Well, guess what? H&H and Klom are made by the same people. Klom is Chinese subsidiary. That's a big word for any of the hater channels watching. Subsidiary. Let's open up and begin, shall we? Now, I don't know if these handles are actually anodized aluminum, like old Billy Boy said. But I do know that these are a very strong, serviceable, and magnetic stainless steel. More specifically, they're the exact same profile. 2 rivets on top. They're in fact numbered 1 through 20. But I'm going to take you through all 20 of them. You notice the rivets on the back, at the bottom. Very ergonomic design. Feels nice in hand. Now, on eBay, these are listed for $64.99. Now, this came all the way from Taku at Mayhem Keys. And he stated in the email he had 50 of these and sold 49. So he had one left over. So, guess where number 50 is? Right here. Now, since Billy Boy didn't know what he was doing when he posted his video of the H&H set 3 years ago, I am going to correctly show you what these picks are and why they're not a waste. Now, I want to state right now, I was not told how much Taku was selling the Klom set for, but if you can find the H&H set on Wish for $40 and you already know the prices he charges for his keys, then it would be safe to assume that his price would not be unreasonable. Now, for those of you looking at pick number 1, what we have here appears to be either in one direction a kinetic rake or a hook, or flipping it over, it's the start of a small bow guitar or a single hump bow guitar or single peak. Just gotta slide that right back in here. And we move right along to number 2. Number 2 is, in fact, a small diamond. Number 3 is a city rake. And while it may feel slightly rough on the bottom, It is in fact cut correctly. It is the profile of a city rake. And if you own one city rake, then you've seen them all. Now, moving on to number 4, this one on the H&H set gave old Bosnian Bill a real brain buster here, because as he said, H&H decided to just go throw something on and stamp it out for filler space. Well, wrong. This, if you've seen the Southward Pin Tumbler Jiggler set, is the same profile as the Jiggler set for pin tumbler locks sold by Southward. So you have a pin tumbler jiggler pick. And for any of my haters who are watching, please be sure to pay attention. It's those crucial details that if you miss out on, well, you know the rest. At least I hope you do. Here we have pick number 5. It is, of course, a short hook. And, of course, you've seen plenty of hooks before in your other pick sets from all makers. You have number 6, an even thinner pick. It's a fin hook, which you would also commonly see in a pagoda set or a Bogota set. Pick number 7. This should be really familiar looking by now. This is the double ball or the snowman or the figure 8, whichever terminology or YouTube channel you prescribe to. Number 8, and keeping it straight, is the worm. And you can tell the worm looking design. That's been pretty much standard for Southward, Peterson, Sparrows, you name it. This worm has also been commonly called an S-rake. But worm, S-rake, different strokes for different folks who call it by certain terms. You know who you are. Pick number 9 appears to be, well, looks like a Peterson worm. So again, that is a shallow Peterson looking worm. And that is also something that old Billy Boy likes to use a lot and talk about in his videos. Funny thing is, he shows all these Sparrows and Peterson, but he doesn't recognize one when he sees it in an H&H set. Doesn't that strike you as odd? Coming up at number 10, this one was described by him as a ninja tool. That does seem kind of ridiculous. But you're thinking outside the box. You could use this up or down for kinetic attacks. This looks like a W rake with multiple peaks, 3 of them to be specific, and a curved hook. or a small moon. Could go either direction. You could use it up, kinetically in your lock, or down. And use it like a Bogota. You just kind of have to use your imagination. Can't imagine why the bigger lock-picking channels who reviewed this kind of thing can't. Coming up on number 11, we're halfway through the set with the picks. Here is what he also called a saw. Well, it actually looks more like a diamond saw, if you ask me, which could also be used for kinetic attacks in raking. And since the profile is the same, you could use it in one position or the other, and it's still the same thing. Number 12. Well, he wasn't quite sure what to call this. He called it the triple ball. And then assumingly said, which would probably be followed by the quadruple ball. Now, this looks more like a barbell. Now, yes, you could also use these in wafer locks. How effective are they going to be? Well, you just have to try that out for yourself.